They're off. To a perfect start, all in a straight line. If anything, Davy Jones is out in front, and he's followed by Dane Court, Kiltoy, and Bachelor Prince. And Golden Miller's there too. Over the first fence, it's Davy Jones and Kiltoy.
Jump number 26. And Armorial's down. Devonlock avoids a collision and takes the lead. Now it's Devonlock, Eagle Lodge, ESB, Entree, close together.
And now with all this mayhem, Foynaven has gone off on his own. He's about 50, 100 yards in front of everything else.
Great noise on the outside of Proud Tarquin as Crisp jumps the canal turn, and he's over it clear. He's still 20 lengths clear from Red Rum in second. Spanish Steps is third, Hurricane Rock fourth.
Coming to the 19th fence, the open ditch, and Aldeniti in the lead. Jumps it fast from Rabstick, a mistake by Royal Stewart, then Pacify.
Aintree, the home of the unique Grand National Steeplechase, where triumphs and disasters have combined to make this race a continual draw to horsemen and to sportsmen from around the world. The Roll of Honour proudly boasts the names of horses and riders who not only completed, but who beat their rivals, as well as the snares presented by the 30 fences. The first two races were run at Maghull. Then, the aptly named Lottery started steeplechasing's biggest challenge at Aintree itself when he won in 1839. Beecher's, the famous brook, was named as a result of Captain Beecher, who fell there that year. 29 years later, George Ede rode the Lamb to victory. The Lamb won again in 1871. Sadly, Ede had been killed in the previous year. 1869 saw the Colonel, with jockey George Stevens recording the fourth of his record 5 Grand National wins. In 1897, the exceptionally good-looking Manifesta won by 20 lengths and again triumphed 2 years later under the burden of 12-7. The turn of the century saw the only royal triumph when the Prince of Wales, later Edward VII, Ambush II was successful. 10 years on, the first film race went to Jenkinstown, who started at 100 to 8 for trainer Tom Coulthwaite. Coulthwaite turned to horses after originally training human athletes. And in 1923, King George V viewed the race from Lord Sefton's well-disguised farm cart at the Canal Turn. 28 started, with Sergeant Murphy, ridden by Captain Tuppy Bennett, beating the 1921 winner Sean Spada by 3 lengths. This was the first American-owned winner, and at the age of 13 is the oldest horse to triumph in the race, along with Why Not from the previous century. The Pack Stands in 1924 witnessed 30 horses thunder from the start, with Attack apparently the favourite policy at Beecher's Brook. Former plough horse Master Robert won under Bob Trudgill, and he'd fallen badly the previous day, but was determined to go out and ride. When Double Chance won 1925, today's fashionable hats were very much in vogue. A year later, all 33 runners survived the first fence charge. They were going much faster than is advisable, although today, as then, riders prefer to run this particular gauntlet. Beecher's, though, claimed Lee Bridge, who became more of a hazard for Coco than the fence itself. Jack Horner, the winner, bought only 2 weeks before the race, was owned by American Charlie Swartz and trained by Jack Leader. Favourite backers had plenty to cheer about in 1927 when Sprigg obliged at 8 to 1, beating 36 others. Bold jumping was very much the plan at Beecher's, with just one refusal tight in the corner under the B flag signposting this famous obstacle. Conversely, the usually incident-free water jump saw both Red B and Test Match knocked out of the race. They fell, it totally independent of each other, right under King George V's nose. The opposite happened the next year, when of the 42 starters, only the 100 to 1 outsider Tipperary Tim completed the course intact. The 90-degree turn at the Canal claimed over half the field, with Easter Hero stopping many of them when running up and down in front of the fence. By the halfway stage, only 6 were still in the race, and at the last, Billy Barton departed to leave Tipperary Tim with just a loose horse for company. Billy Barton was remounted to finish second, although by then the winning jockey Billy Dutton was in the hallowed winner's enclosure. This encouraged the all-time record of 66 starters the following year, spreading right across the wide expanse of Aintree's start. The 100 to 1 chance Gregorlac came home 6 lengths in front of the previous year's villain Easter Hero, cheered on by 300,000 people. In 1930, Sean Golin eventually won by a neck, but at the water jump, the jockeys are sitting so far back in the saddle, it's obvious no one wants to get wet. At Beecher's, despite seeing some really brave leaps from the leaders, one horse and rider finds out that the penalty for a faint heart is definitely not to be recommended. It's a long, long drop when you're going slowly. And yes, there really is water in the brook. The tail ender certainly was not prepared to give an action replay of what he'd just seen. The winner was a bargain buy at 55 guineas as a 3-year-old, which might now just get you a horse's tail. The next year, the fast ground meant plenty of horses were on their feet at the Canal Turn, where the fallen jockey has his old cork helmet kicked off his head. And despite the nasty appearance of the incident, he calmly smooths his hair into place. Grekel, who beats the 1929 winner Gregulac by 1.5 lengths, had the now popular cross noseband called after him, while trainer Coulthwaite, in turn, was honoured with a Haydock Park steeplechase, and today that event is still a respected Aintree trial. This year sees Beecher's sister fence, Valentine's, featuring, and noticeably the drop is not so evident. Although less famous, it does present a marvellous spectacle, and on occasions claims its price. Coming so close after the Canal Turn, Valentine's attracted huge crowds in the 30s, who were even afforded grandstand viewing. Now, who says horses don't like racing? The loose one disproves that theory. Eventually, Forborough, a flat race reject, won under Tim Hamey for trainer Tom Rymel. The riding fee then was a pittance, but it's pride that makes jockeys remount. In 1988, Hamey was the oldest surviving winning jockey and well remembers the humans crowding the finish as he beat Egremont by 3 lengths. You can tell John Hughes, the current clerk of the course, was not in office then. 1933 saw the first appearance of the 5 times Gold Cup winner, Golden Miller. But at the 23rd, the smallest fence on the course, it's Kelsborough Jack disputing the lead with Remus, and Torquays had arrived.
Now, if you look very, very carefully, you may see Golden Miller's fall. Golden Miller is bushed up by leader. You're seeing, there he is, being rushed up now at the Canal Turn fence, but unfortunately, they come to grief. You'll see leader comes in off just in the right-hand corner. And so to Valentine for the second time, where Remus and Colliery Band and Slater jump almost together. So up the straight we come, up the straight with Kelsborough Jack, passing the post 3 lengths clear of Really True and the hooded horse Slater Burns, just behind. There's Kelsborough Jack being led back into the unsandy enclosure by the owner's husband, Mr. Ambrose Clark.
The fast ground in 1934 enabled Golden Miller to set a new course record under jockey Jerry Wilson. The great horse had also won the Cheltenham Gold Cup that same season and remains the only horse to do that incredible double. Sadly, it was to be the only time Golden Miller completed the course in the Grand National. And owner Dorothy Paget had taken the horse as a gambling debt from trainer Basil Briscoe. The partnership was severed before the next Aintree Marathon. The Miller failed to get round when unseating Jerry Wilson at the 11th fence in 1935. But the contest itself went to the Furlong family, with owner-trainer Major Noel Furlong's son Frank riding Reynoldstown to victory. The horse was named after the Connection's Irish home, and when you consider today's strict rules regarding chin straps on helmets, riders then were taking liberties. In 36, names from the past, including Lester Piggott's father.
26th fence. Reynoldstown stumbles and nearly throws his rider. That cost him 2 lengths and it may spoil his chance. The 28th fence. Now there are only 2 more to go. As they come round onto the race course for the last time, Reynoldstown is coming up again. And now he's nearly level. It's only a 2-horse race now. They're coming up to the last fence. It looks as if Reynoldstown may win after all. And then the third sensation. David Jones' rein has broken. His rider's lost control and he goes round the last fence instead of over it. Reynoldstown is over and Reynoldstown wins. He's coming up into the finishing straight now. No horse has won for 2 years running for 66 years. and it's a triumph for the amateur owner and rider. Reynoldstown win.
Since then, winning jockey Foot Warwin has enjoyed a career as a top trainer, successful in that sphere with Team Spirit in 1964.